Hello, welcome back to my channel. And hello if this is your first time watching me. But this should not be your first time watching me because you should be checking out my RWBY trailer reactions, which are in a convenient playlist, as well as this episode and future episodes are all going to be in one convenient playlist, so go check it out. I know that my trailer reactions are kind of long, like the yellow trailer alone is like 46 minutes. And that's what you should be expecting here. I don't know how long this reaction is going to go for. This episode is only 12 minutes, but I dragged a 6 minute trailer into a 46-minute reaction. And this is because my RWBY reactions are going to be probably unlike most reactions you're going to see on YouTube because I'm going to be heavily breaking down the story and the characters because look, I'm a huge writing nerd and I write also like as a hobby. So I I really love just breaking things apart and deconstructing them and really seeing what they're all about. It's really fun for me and I hope that I and everyone watching get to learn a bit more about the show that we're watching this way. So I'm going to be watching the episode first. I'm probably not going to break down animation too much unless there's any standout scenes because that's going to take forever. I'm mostly going to split this into okay, reaction part, and then afterwards I'm going to talk about the story. I'm going to take a small break and probably skim through the episode again, gather some important information, and then I'm going to be talking in length about the story and the characters. So yeah, that's how these episodes are going to go. Without further ado, let's get into the first episode of RWBY Volume 1.
Legends. Stories scattered through time.
Legends.
Mankind has grown quite fond of recounting the exploits of heroes and villains, forgetting so
stories.
easily that we are remnants, byproducts of a forgotten past. Man, born from dust, was strong, wise, and resourceful. But he was born into an unforgiving world. An inevitable darkness, creatures of destruction, the creatures of Grimm, set their sights on man and all of his creations. These forces clashed, and it seemed the darkness was intent on returning man's brief existence to the void. However, even the smallest spark of hope is enough to ignite change. And in time, man's passion, resourcefulness, and ingenuity led them to the tools that would help even the odds. This power was appropriately named dust.
Appropriately named.
Nature's wrath in hand, man lit their way through the darkness.
They found magic,
and in the shadows,
they were able to
came strength, civilization, and most
repel the
importantly,
monsters.
Life. But even the most brilliant lights eventually flicker and die. And when they are gone, darkness will return.
Wait, it's this guy. We saw him in the yellow trailer. And the goons.
So you may prepare your guardians. Build your monuments to a so-called free world. But take heed. There will be no victory in strength.
All right, ominous narrator.
Perhaps victory is in the simpler things that you've long forgotten. Things that require a smaller, more honest soul.
RWBY. That's a different person narrating. The jewelry shop.
Do you have any idea how hard it is to find a dust shop open this late?
Please, just take my lien and leave.
Shh. Calm down. We're not here for your money. Grab the dust.
The dust. No, this isn't jewelry. This is the magic.
Crystals. Burn uncut. All right, kid. Put your hands where I can see them. Hey, I said hands in the air. You got a death wish or something?
Yes?
I said, put your hands in the air, now.
Are you robbing me?
Yes.
The most polite mug in history. What the fuck are you doing? Wait, I'm sorry. I have to talk about this. These goons are canonically like are they basically canonically incompetent as hell? Because not only in the yellow trailer did we see them being really like they don't know how to use weapons. Seriously. And here it's like bro was bro was respecting Ruby's boundaries when trying to rob her and politely answering her question. Like, I'm sorry, where's the force? Where's where's the threats? None. The guy has never bugged someone in his life. These guys are horrible. Hello? Oh, this music. I don't want to do that. Here we go. Oh, she's gonna kick all your asses. Diegetic music!
Get her.
But even he's done with them. Oh my god. Dude. Yeah, they're dead.
You were worth every cent. Truly you were. Well, Red, I think we can all say it's been an eventful evening. And as much as I'd love to stick around, I'm afraid this is where we part ways.
Oh, right. Everything's basically a gun, isn't it? Even the goddamn cane. Yo, where you going?
You okay if I go after him?
Oh, she's so polite. She's even asking for permission to go. Oh my god.
Persistent.
He's got a ride. You're alone.
End of the line, Red.
New character. Oh, that is a professor look if I've ever seen one.
We got a huntress.
Yo, she just dished. She dished the controls so fast. A huntress. Oh my goodness. Yo, she's pretty strong. Ooh. Yo, using the debris as a projectile? Oh, that is fun. Oh, she's good too. Okay, thanks for helping. Oh, you're outmatched. Goodbye. I'm sure we won't ever see you again. We definitely will.
You're a huntress. Can I have your autograph?
I hope you realize that your actions tonight will not be taken lightly, young lady. You put yourself and others in great danger.
They started it!
If it were up to me, you'd be sent home with a pat on the back and a slap on the wrist. But there is someone here who would like to
It would be
meet
so silly. Oh, it's gonna be hard to hate her, isn't
Ruby
it?
Rose.
Ruby Rose.
You have silver eyes. So, where did you learn to do this?
Signal Academy?
They taught you to use one of the most dangerous weapons ever designed?
Well, one teacher in particular.
I see.
It's a notorious weapon? Oh my god,
It's
you're a
just that I've only seen one other
Honestly,
side
same,
wielder
Ruby.
of that skill before. A dusty old crow.
That's my uncle. Sorry. That's my Uncle
She's
Crow.
such a goof.
He's a teacher at Signal. I was complete garbage before he took me under his wing, and now I'm all like...
So I've noticed. And what is an adorable girl such as yourself doing at a school designed to train warriors?
Whoa, don't be so
I
condescending.
want to be a huntress.
Sorry, what's the word? Patronizing.
You want to slay monsters?
Yeah. I only have 2 more years of training left at Signal, and then I'm going to apply to Beacon. See, my sister's starting there this year, and she's trying to become a huntress. And
Alright, yeah.
I'm trying to become a huntress because I want to help people. And my parents always taught us to help others, so I thought, oh, I might as well make a career out of it. I mean, the police are alright, but huntsmen and huntresses are just so much more romantic and exciting and cool. Just, you know?
Do you know who I am?
Bro.
Professor Ozpin. You're the headmaster
Ozpin?
at Beacon.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
You want to come to my school?
More than anything.
Well, okay.
Well, okay. Excuse
I
me?
can't believe my baby sister's going to Beacon with me. This is the best day ever.
Please stop.
But I'm so proud of you.
Really, sis, it was nothing.
What do you mean? It was incredible. Everyone at Beacon is going to think you're the bee's knees.
Don't ever
I
say
don't want to
that.
be the bee's knees, okay? I don't want to be any kind of knees. I just want to be a normal girl with normal knees.
What's with you? Aren't you
That's
excited?
funny.
Of course I'm excited. I got moved ahead 2 years. I don't want people to think I'm special or anything.
Wait. So you're telling me she got moved ahead 2 years because they were so impressed at what she was doing, and then the way they did it was Ozpin going, "Well, okay." It's like, hey, you want to join my school? Yeah, I really wanna. Okay, sure. I don't know why. The way it's so casual is just so funny to me. I don't know. I don't know why.
But you are special.
The robbery was led by nefarious criminal Roman Torchwick, who continues to evade authorities. If you have any information on his
Roman
whereabouts, please
Torchwick.
contact
Get
the
a
Vale
name.
Police Department. Back to you, Lisa.
Thank you, Cyril. In other news, this Saturday's
Too
fauna
deep
civil
for
rights
this.
protest turned dark when members of the White Fang disrupted the ceremony. The once peaceful organization has now disrupted.
Hello and welcome to Beacon.
Who's that?
My name is Glinda Goodwitch.
Oh,
You are among a privileged few who have received the honor of being selected to attend this prestigious academy. Our world is experiencing an incredible time of peace, and as future huntsmen and huntresses, it is your duty to uphold it. You have demonstrated the courage needed for such a task.
We're going to
And
school.
now it is our turn to provide you with the knowledge and the training to protect our world.
Look at all these shadow
You can see
people.
Signal from up here.
We're gonna get a money shot. Kind of. Low
I
budget
guess
money
home
shot.
isn't too far after all.
Beacon's
Good
our
enough.
home now.
Wait, that's a character.
Well, I guess the view isn't for everyone.
It was a nice moment while it lasted.
I wonder who we're gonna meet.
Whoa. That's not. Whoa. Wait, this is cool. Wait, is that the school? It's right on like a cliffside. That's kind of awesome.
I just hope they're better than Vomit Boy. Oh, yay, gross! You have puke on your shoe!
Gross.
Get away! Get away from me! Get away from me! Get away from me! Get away from me!
Okay, before we get to what I assume is going to be a banger opening or ending. No, this is like how anime do it, right? They don't do the opening in the first time around in the episode. They put it at the end mostly. Okay, it is. Wait, before I just want to get like immediate thoughts first. Very, very fun episode. It's cute, it's quirky, it's kind of silly, but that's the vibe. That's the vibe we're going into this. First episode's always a tone setter. So whatever happens in the other episodes, I'm gonna judge it based on the tone of the first episode. in most cases. So this is gonna be a very lighthearted adventure with lots of hijinks and a bunch of friendship and teamwork and all other mushy stuff. And it's about uh like accomplishing your dream and fitting in. And oh my god, it's a coming of age story. Holy shit, this is a shonen. This is a shonen battle story. This is exactly what it is, isn't it? Wait, I'll elaborate more later. I'll elaborate more later. Let's just watch this. This is from the Red trailer, or at least the place it's in. Oh, that's a figure. Is that the person? Wait, this has to fight it though. The other characters? Monsters? Villains? Mysterious villains? Teamwork? Aw, I like this song. As this guy? New characters we have not seen. The teachers? On an airship. I'm gonna love this show. All right, I'll be right back. I'll skip through the episode. I'll grab notes, and then I'll come back for the review portion of this episode. If you're just here for the reaction, I guess this is where we part ways. Okay, yeah, I'm being silly. All right, see you soon. All right, it's been an undetermined amount of time. I did not check, but I'm done writing the notes. Now, do let me know in the comments if you would like to see the notes, because I won't be showing them on screen. But if you want to see what I've written in future episodes, then do let me know, and then I'll just put up on screen whenever I need to. So, I have a few things that I want to touch on. There are themes of the show, the lore, the world building, the magic system, the plot, and the characters. Quite a few things, right? This is going to take some time. So, from what I've gathered, there's a few themes that I can pick up on already. So the biggest one I'd say is that whole small spark thing, because it's a very common trope, where it's like the underdog story, where there's this huge conflict, and turns out the best suited person to resolve said conflict is usually like a simple minded, usually the main characters aren't so complicated in that sense. There are other characters that have more complicated worldviews. The main characters are usually very simple minded and optimistic, things like that. Imagine shonen stories, for example. I likened the show so far to a shonen, because of just the way it's set up right now. And following shonen, for example, characters like, um, Deku from My Hero Academia, Yuji from Jujutsu Kaisen, Luffy from One Piece. It's like they all have very simple goals, but a very strong idea, like giving people a proper death, trying to be the freest person in the seas, trying to just be a hero. There are other characters with more nuance initially, like surface level, but main characters tend to have this simple-minded approach to it that is portrayed as something good, as to not overcomplicate the situation. It's like, no, no, no. All we really need is just faith in humanity, faith in the goodness of people, things like that, kindness and whatnot. So all of that tangent is to say, change can come from the smallest unsuspecting spark, an honest soul. That's the biggest theme I can pick up from this so far. There are some others that I picked up on, like all things come to an end, as the darkness is an inevitability. This one's more ominous, but this is mostly from the narration at the beginning, where the monsters, the Grimm, are constantly being said as like inevitable. The darkness is inevitable, and no matter how much we bring up civilizations and how much we progress, eventually all brilliant lights will like flicker and die. It's this concept that good things don't last forever, and things will always end. But I assume the show is gonna go in a direction where everything ends, but there's always a new beginning. There's always a new generation of kids growing up, and there's a new generation of conflicts and struggles to make the world a better place. And that's kind of true. History and the way that the world progresses comes in phases, in eras. We divide the world into certain eras as well. So yeah, that's I wouldn't be surprised if the lore of this world involves different eras in the past where things were different in terms of status quo. And the last theme I can pick up on is strength is not the end all be all. Like, there is no victory in strength, ominous narrator. All right then. And then we got a different voice, which I checked, and it's Ozpen's voice that is talking to the narrator, like woman in the beginning. So that's interesting. That's a mystery. But yeah, it's this idea that victory doesn't come in strength. It comes from, the an honest soul, a small honest soul. So really hammering home that idea. So that's the themes of the show from episode 1. Now, let's get into the lore. So I have different classifications for lore and world building. World building is what I consider things about the world right now, while lore is history. So that's my distinction. So in terms of lore, I wrote down here, mankind loves telling stories of old, forgetting that they themselves are able to forge stories of their own, question mark. That's me trying to dissect what the first sentence of the episode was about, like legends. Mankind often tells these stories, but they forget that they're like remnants of like a byproduct of a forgotten past or whatever. And it's such an enigmatic like line. Like, I don't know what that means. So I'm trying to figure out what that means here. I'm guessing that we love telling stories, right? That this is true. Mankind just loves telling stories. Um, but we forget that we are also forging our own stories in this era of the modern world. And you, right now, watching this video, we're all part of a future story. We're writing one right now, and eventually, in a few decades, and even beyond that, we're gonna be immortalized as being part of the civilization of this era. So I don't know. It's an interesting concept to think about. Now we also got the Grim, right? We got monsters in this world. Obviously, we saw Ruby fight a bunch of what I assume to be Grim in the red trailer. Um, we got a bunch of cool designs as well on there. But they're an ancient enemy because they've been fighting mankind since the beginning of time, basically. Like, ever since, like, whenever there was man, there was the Grim. So we've been fighting the Grim for a very long time. They're basically an inevitability, like I said. And then we also have the fact that mankind discovered dust. Don't know why the narrator said appropriately named dust and then showed a crystal. Kind of weird. Maybe dust is made from dust and they can solidify into crystals. We'll get into like different forms of dust later. But yeah, so we managed to escape the dark ages pretty much and managed to prop up civilizations and progress in technology and blah blah blah, stuff like that. We developed into the current society today because of dust. It's specifically because of dust that we were able to repel all our enemies, all the grim, and the darkness in the world, and make it to where we are today. Cool. Now, let's get into some world building. First of all, currency, Lien. It's just thrown in there immediately. I like that. I like the way that dialogue was written. It was like the shopkeeper being like held up at gunpoint, and he's like, please don't hurt me, take my Lien and leave. And it's like, okay, what does that mean? What do you mean take my Lien? What is that? And Roman Torchwick says, "We're not here for your money," right? And then tells the goons to like load up the dust. They didn't need to explain that Lien is money, because by saying, "Hey, don't take my Lien, like take my Lien and leave," it's saying, "Hey, just take this valuable thing that I have, and I hope that you don't touch anything else and you don't hurt me." And Roman immediately follows that up with, "I don't want the money." So context clues tell us that money is Lien. I think that that is some really smart dialogue. That's such a smart way of introducing the currency without like spoon feeding, like, "Hey, hello, this is currency," like, that's good. That is good. Dust is also stored in different containers actually. Like we see them as crystals in like the front row, all the colorful crystals at the start. But then the goons also started loading things up in a canister. So they don't just come in solid form, they also come in like a liquid form. If it's a liquid, but they also get stored in a canister, so obviously not crystal form. So there are different ways you can store dust, and I assume that also means that depending on the way you store it, there are different applications to the dust. Like the way you'd use it is different. Like for example, the way that Torchwick uses the crystal is to blow it up. We haven't seen how canisters are being used yet, so I just wanted to point that out. That's something interesting. Yeah. Another thing is, wait, no. Before that, yeah, dust is volatile when damaged, can explode. So specifically, one of the goons was saying, "Burn, uncut." So obviously, uncut referring to, because it's like jewelry, right? Uncut, and then the shopkeeper gives them like an uncut gem, pretty much. But the guy said burn, so I guess like the red crystals are burn crystals, burn dust, and that's the one that explodes when Torchwick shot at it. So I'm guessing there's elemental capabilities for the dust. There's like gonna be we see ice that Weiss was using. There's fire. I assume there's other like wind or earth, whatever, things like that as well. Moving on from that, just another thing to point out is headphones and magazines exist. Because Ruby was wearing headphones and there was music, and she was reading a weapons magazine. That means there's an entertainment industry that makes music, that makes magazines. So that helps flesh out the world a bit more. Yeah, hunters and huntresses are sort of like protectors, but they're different from police. Police exist too, as Ruby mentioned, but they're different from hunters and huntresses. So I don't know what the difference is because it never clarified. But Osmond was saying like, because when Ruby said, "I wanna be a huntress," and he's like, "Oh, you wanna slay monsters?" So I'm guessing that hunters and huntresses are more so towards like monster hunters, and the police deal with like humans and internal like city affairs and stuff like that. So they're policing civilization, while the huntresses go out and slay monsters. I assume that's the distinction there. And Ruby's a huge fan of huntresses. Don't know if this applies to just generally like are huntresses kind of like celebrities, or is this a Ruby thing? Like, is she just a fan of this line of work, or is this line of work popular among people? There are also different academies. We learn about Beacon Academy, Signal Academy, different academies to learn how to fight. So they're basically schools, magic schools, basically around the world. Um, there's also the Faunas, which are basically Kemono Mimi. Like they're like the most safe version of furries to ever exist. You just add like animal ears on a character. So different species of people exist as well. So it's not just pure humans, they're also animal humans. But they also demand civil rights, which means that they're not treated well in society. I suppose because they're mistreated, because they're different from humans, yada yada. Classic trope. There's also the White Fang organization, which was apparently peaceful before. It was like the once peaceful organization. And they want to disrupt the protests for some reason. Don't know what that's about. And also, the world is in a time of peace, according to Glinda. Um, I assume not for long, because the plot needs to happen. But yeah, just interesting things to note. Oh, one really interesting thing I wanted to note was when Osmond was talking to Ruby, like interviewing, interrogating, whatever. I mean, it was basically an interview, uh, because he recognized her potential. Um, Looked at the footage when she was fighting the goons and said, "They taught you to use one of the most dangerous weapons ever designed," which implies that Ruby's weapon is a notorious weapon. That or scythe wielders are specifically rare because he said that the only other scythe wielder that he saw that was that good was her uncle and like the teacher at Signal Academy. So it's either Ruby's weapon is a sort of legendary weapon, or more likely, we rarely get to see scythe wielders, and especially scythe wielders who are just that good at using it. So that's what I assume that is. All right, world building was kind of long. Now we're getting into the magic system, so it's kind of short. I just noted down that dust has different elements that do different things. Dust has different forms, which may affect its usage and effects. So we just glossed over this just now. Glinda has a magic wand that she uses. She has a very typical teacher design. You know, she uses a wand, and she can shoot. Like I'm trying to make sense of the powers here. She can shoot those little purple beams. She can create a storm that rains crystals, like a hailstorm, pretty much. She can put up a barrier in front of her to protect, like Ruby from the blast of the dust crystal exploding. And she can use like some sort of telekinesis to like reshape the debris around, like control the debris around her and form it into a spear, basically. So these are very different things. Like these are very different abilities. So I assume that I don't know if it's dust that she's using or if she has powers. I really don't know. Is there purple dust? Does that do the things that she was doing? Or is it her powers? If she even has powers. Because these are such a wide variety of things she can do, from barriers to telekinesis to storms to like laser beams. Like what? So I'm very curious to know more about the system. Let's have a quick rundown of the plot that happened so far. So Torchwick hired goons from Junior to rob a dust shop, and he's also a notorious criminal. We don't know why he's robbing the dust, but he's a notorious criminal, so he's probably doing some shady shit with it. He has an accomplice helping him with the robbery. We don't know who she is. She's like intentionally, like her face is intentionally hidden, so like she's clearly an important mystery box. Ruby helps thwart the robbery, defeats the goons, forcing Torchwick on the run, saved by Glinda when a mystery woman appears, puts up a fight. But Ruby couldn't even put up a fight against her. You know, all she did was shoot bullets at her, and she easily blocks the bullets. That's crazy. Another thing is Ruby has silver eyes. Don't know if that's important or if that's Osmond just being really quirky. She studied at Signal but wants to join Beacon. Osmond lets her in, skipping 2 years because he recognizes her potential and stuff. Cool. Finally, let's talk about some of the characters that we met. So, the main character that we got a lot of info on is RWBY Rez. All right, we know her full name now. We know that she listens to music, she reads weapon magazines, she's really confident in her combat abilities. You know, when she's being mugged, she's just really confident. She's like, "Oh, you're mugging me? Oh, okay." Beats the shit out of him. Yeah. She's also really polite because she asked the shopkeeper if he's okay or enough to like chase after him. Like that's really sweet of her. She wants to be a hunter. Okay, now we get into motivations. She wants to be a huntress because she was influenced by her parents, and basically they taught her to help people. And so she's like, "Okay, I love helping people. I want to help people and like fight." You know, that's her whole thing. And she's like, "Okay, might as well make a career out of doing what she already wanted to do, which is help people and fight." Pretty much. I'm just putting in the fight because she looks like she really enjoys that, but mainly she wants to help people. And she wants to be a huntress to do that. Why not the police or anything? Well, because she romanticizes the huntress life. I don't know if there are any external factors that made her romanticize it, but she really wants to slay monsters instead of just being the police. So she's this wide-eyed like optimist and like, I want to help people, I want to slay monsters, and huntresses are so cool and romantic and exciting. Can't wait for her to be traumatized in the story. And the last thing to note about her is that she doesn't want to be seen as special. So she's actually a really humble person. She's just this really sweet, optimistic, humble kid. She's a dork, right? And she's a dork and she's awesome. That's basically what they're trying to tell us. Ruby is just a really endearing character. Amazing. Other characters include Roman Torchwick, who's criminal man robbing dust. We have Glinda Goodwitch, who is probably a teacher at Beacon. She's very stern, you know. Professor Ospen, who is the headmaster. He's really curious. He recognizes potential. He went out of his way to interview Ruby when he saw her taking out all the goons. So, yeah, I mean, he probably scouts a lot of people as well. That's nice. We got the mystery woman. Her powers, she can shoot fire. She creates like exploding marks on the ground, and she did this like the fire pulse that like destroyed the spear of like debris that Glenda made, that only damaged that attack and not the ship. So that's interesting. She also can block bullets with her hand. So I'm still trying to make sense of the power system here, but it seems that people can just do a lot of different things. And we also got Yang in the episode. She's a really proud, supportive sister, but she believes that Ruby is special. Ruby doesn't think she's special, but Yang thinks she's special. I kind of want to know more about why she thinks so, because or if this is just basically like a sibling, like, oh, of course you're special, but special as in like everyone is special, like every individual is worth value, so you're special in that regard, but technically that means everyone is special. So like, I don't know if it's that, or if there was a specific event that happened that made Yang think that she's like really talented and skilled. But Ruby is really talented and skilled. She skipped 2 years. She was able to basically immediately graduate at Signal and immediately jump to Beacon. So, she does have the bee's knees, but she doesn't want to be seen like that. So yeah. And also we got Vomit Boy. We don't know much about him, but he's the only other character that isn't like a silhouette. Yeah. Oh yeah. The silhouette characters. Interesting. It's a really smart way of like being budget friendly, but also it any character that's gonna be important is just not gonna be a shadow person, which makes it really easy to spot when characters are supposed to be important. So I just think that's really funny. And yeah, that's about all that I've written. Really fun first episode. It's not the best thing I've ever seen, but it's really charming and it's really fun. I extrapolated so much just off of this episode. I hope you enjoyed that. And I'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye.